On. Now we can start, right? Okay. Well, good morning for everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us in this press conference about children and youth organized by UNICEF. Thank you so much for making this space possible. I think we have heard a lot about children. Now we are at the center of the impacts caused by the climate crisis and the planetary crisis, but we are also part of the solution. We are leading solutions on the ground, in our territories, in our countries, in our lands, and that's why it is so important, this space, to listen directly from them, from the children, from the young people, what are our demands and what are we asking for our inclusion and for the guaranteeing of our rights. So we'll start with Georgina from Tanzania, who have the floor. Go ahead, go for it, Georgina.
To all the people around the world, my name is Georgina. I'm 10 years old from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I stand before you today not just as one child, but as the voice of millions of children whose lives are deeply affected by climate change, especially our health and education. Earlier this year, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, the roof of Africa. From up there, I saw how our beautiful land is changing. I saw dried streams where water once flowed. I saw bare land where trees once stood. But most importantly, I saw hope. Hope that together we can make things better. I wrote a book called Georgina and the Environment to teach other children about protecting our environment. And one of the things I addressed there is people stop cutting trees, burning forests, and not to throw trash in the ocean. I have a project called Reading Green. Through it, I am proving that children can be powerful environmental leaders. I have not only planted over 1,000 trees, but I've also launched the Fukwe Salama. This is a Swahili word which means Safe Beaches campaign to protect our ocean. Did you know that a healthy ocean helps fight climate change? My fellow young environmental warriors and I are cleaning beaches, learning about coral reefs, and teaching other children about how plastic pollution hurts marine life. Climate change is making us sick. In the rural areas where there is no clean water, children must drink from unsafe sources. Many of the boys and girls from the rural areas suffer from waterborne diseases. When they are sick, they miss school. During extreme heat waves, many children become sick and dehydrated, especially during those long walks to fetch water. The water crisis affects both our health and education. Boys and girls from the village walk up to 6 kilometers searching for water. And they're the ones I know from a village called Butiama in North Mara, Tanzania. Sometimes they search water source only to find it completely dry because there has been no rain. They must search for another source, walking even farther. By the time they return home, they're exhausted, dehydrated, and too tired to study. Some get sick from carrying heavy pots of water at such a young age. This is not just about missing classes. It's about the right to be healthy and educated. Every child deserves clean water, good health, and quality education. But climate change is taking away these basic rights away from us. As young as we are, we understand the Paris Agreement's goal to keep global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius. Let me tell you what this means to us children. Every half degree matters, every year matters, every action matters. Myself has already already showing what children can do. I have planted over 1,000 trees across Tanzania, started ocean conservation clubs in coastal schools, created environmental education materials in Swahili for rural children, organized beach cleanups with over 120 children volunteers, taught 120 children about marine ecosystem protection. But we need your help to do more. When world leaders signed the Paris Agreement, the CMA5, you made a promise to protect our future. Today, I stand here as a child, asking you to keep that promise. As children of Tanzania and the world, we ask you, help us bring clean water closer to our homes and schools. This will protect both our health and our education. Support our tree planting campaigns. Tree cleaner air, protect us from extreme heat, and help prevent diseases. Support our tree planting, help build climate resilient schools and classrooms, because most boys and girls from the rural areas study while sitting in dusty classrooms while big stones and logs become their chairs. Clean water systems and medical supplies. Provide better healthcare facilities in our communities that can handle climate-related issues. Support school feeding programs so that children can have nutritious meals, especially during drought season. Invest in clean energy for our schools and health centers. Solar power can keep vaccines cold and help us study at night. My fellow children around the world, you too can make a difference. Start small, dream big. Plant a tree, save water. Learn about our environment. Together, our small actions will grow into big changes. To the world leaders here today, this is not only the work for UNICEF, as they are doing a great job with us children, but we need your help to create a future where no child has to choose between their health and education, where no child drinks unsafe water or misses school because of climate-related issues, where every child has the chance to grow up healthy and educated. Remember, when you protect the environment, you protect children's health, education, and dreams. A healthy, educated child can change the world. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Georgina, for your passion and your determination and for fighting since so young. Now we will go with Ketsia from DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ketia Pasu, UNICEF Youth Advocate from DRC. I'm climate activist. I'm the founder of the FANIA Association. At the start of this year, because of severe rains, the Congo River reached its highest level in 60 years. The river flooded my neighborhood in Kinshasa, submerging roads, hospitals, and schools. In an instant, our way of life completely changed. I had to swap taxis for pirogue, small wooden boats, to get to university. Neighborhoods lost their homes. Children were deprived of education. Sick people were unable to go for treatment. In all this chaos, I understood that this is much more than just a flood. It's a result of the climate crisis. Everything seems clear when you experience it, when you're a victim of it. It was 29 years ago that the first COP took place. I wasn't born yet, neither were all these young people with me here today. What unites us today is the devastating impact of climate crisis in our country, in our rights, and our dreams. COP shouldn't turn into a flashy yet hollow event. Each COP has the potential to change the lives of thousands of people around the world for the better. but we need a real commitment and the will to speed up action. Returning to the floods in Kinshasa, it was young people who mobilized first. It was me and my fellow activists who tried to find solutions and help the victims. It was us who contacted the media to bring national attention to this crisis. Us who demand that the mayor of Kinshasa make it a priority to repair flood-damaged schools and make classrooms fit for studying again. If it weren't young people, there would be less hope, less action, and less positive change. I've seen the power we have, our commitments, and that makes me feel optimistic. But, dear world leaders, let's be honest. We are not where we are supposed to be. We are not where we are supposed to be when we need to be in slowing the global warming. The young people have the commitment and the energy, but it's time for you, world leader, to act now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ketsia, for your words. And now I would like to give the floor to Rasul from Azerbaijan, from this hosting country. Go ahead.
I would like to welcome everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Rasul. I'm 16 years old, and I'm from the beautiful country of Azerbaijan. I'm honored to be here as Youth Climate Envoy to represent the voice of youth, children of Azerbaijan, and to share our thoughts on the urgent fight against climate change. The city that I live in is located at the coast of Caspian Sea, the largest lake in the world. This amazing body of water provides a habitat for lots of species and organisms and protects us from extreme temperatures. But today, the Caspian Sea is in a danger. Rising temperatures and heat waves are causing water levels to drop faster, and this harms the wildlife and makes our life harder, and for the people who live near the Caspian Sea. In Baku, the weather is becoming more extreme and harder to predict. Winters and summers are getting longer, and it makes it difficult for me and my friends to enjoy simple activities such as cycling, walking, or even playing, and also planting trees. Growing plants and keeping them alive in this heat is tough. In my own family, the challenges are also clear. My brother, who has autism, finds it harder to adapt to the new change and the rising temperatures. Things like going to school or playing outdoors are becoming more challenging for him and for all of us. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's a children's issue. It's already affecting our daily lives and making the future uncertain. While our government and communities are working hard to tackle this problem, we need to recognize that children are much vulnerable to this issue, and more than adults. And I believe that we need to do more to protect the children and enable them to have a safe and reliable future. And we need to act faster. Leaders need to create more ambitious policies and make some real actions. Young people must be involved in this decision-making process and also in the implementation. Our voices, our ideas, and energy are key to building the real solutions and solution to the futures. I urge governments to involve young people in the development of NDCs and consider education, health and social protection, and mitigation strategies, because these sectors are most important for children and youth. Together, we can protect the Caspian Sea, the youth and children, and also support our communities and create a world where young people can grow up safely and happier. Action matters, and we have to act now. Climate change is an irreversible issue, and we have to act now to mitigate the effects of climate change. Thank you for all of you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Rasul, too. And now I would like to give the floor to Sonaira from Pakistan.
Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zunaira. I'm a 14 years old young climate advocate from Hub, Pakistan. Today, I'm honored to speak to you all today at COP29. I stand here not just as an adolescent, but as a representative of young people around the globe. Young people whose lives are shaped and disturbed due to climate change. As a young girl from a less developed area, I was fortunate to get a chance to learn research and advocacy skills through UNICEF's support. I conducted research on the impacts of climate change on girls' education. My findings were not just numbers, but the stories of sacrifice, loss, and resilience. Where I come from, climate disasters like floods and heat waves are rare. They are a part of life. Floods disturbs everything: our education, our safety, our security, and most particularly, our futures. When communities are hit by floods, resources become limited, and girls in particular are impacted by the limited resources in the family. They are a priority. They are forced to miss their school. The family simply cannot afford to education in the times of crisis. Children and youth around the globe face unique struggles because of climate change. We also have unique solutions to tackle it. We bring fresh ideas, our energy, and the perspective of living through these challenges every day. I truly believe that we make a difference. We need more than just than policies and promises. We need action. Today, I speak on behalf of children everywhere who need a safe and sustainable future. We don't just need to be heard. It is our right to be heard. We inherited this planet. The choices you made in the past are disturbing and impacting our future. Dear listeners, I call on the leaders here today sitting at COP29 to commit to protect children, prioritize education, and recognize the link between children's well-being and climate action. Together, let's work for a future which empowers young people to reach their full potential. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunaira, for your valuable commitment with your future and the future of all of us. Now we will go with Michael from Sierra Leone. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Kusha. Hello everyone, I'm Michael Nabil, a UNICEF youth advocate and co-founder of FCSL in Sierra Leone, a West African country that's based in Sierra Leone. Today, I'm honored to speak to you all about my journey in the climate space. My parents are local farmers, and 70% of my community members relied on crop farming for a daily survival. With the impact of climate change in our country, we experience flooding and erosion, which washes away the top nutrients of our soil, leaving our land vulnerable and infertile. This has caused low crop harvest, making life difficult for families. In 2018, I had to drop from extra school classes as there was not enough funds for me to continue. As a way of solving this problem, I developed self-taught research on compost waste, like cow dung, water, ashes, human urine, and molasses into a compost manual through which I have been able to support my community to fight soil infertility and promote agroecology. In 2022, as a UNICEF youth advocate in Sierra Leone, I led a team of dynamic young climate activists where we successfully advocated for the government of Sierra Leone to integrate climate change as a subject in our national school curriculum. This is currently helping thousands of children in the country to learn more about the climate change crisis and creating opportunities for their involvement in mitigating and adapting to climate conditions in our country. Today, I want to urge my generation and world leaders to see how children can have a better world and a safe future, where there will be no floods, no droughts. So, I'm here to tell leaders that without investment in climate, people like me and the next generations would have a future. I see it in my country, in my family's business, so we need to act now. Also, there is need to support climate education and health, thereby ensuring that children have access to quality education and healthcare, even in the face of climate-related disruptions. As young people, we need empowerment. Let us be Let us be involved in decision-making processes and let them support youth-led initiatives that addresses climate change. We need climate investment by allocating significant funds to help developing countries like Sierra Leone implement their climate action plans. Today, I'm hopeful that conferences like this offers hope for a sustainable future. As a young person, I believe this conference can drive meaningful actions to combat climate change. While past efforts have shown progress, COP29 must deliver concrete commitments to reduce emissions, invest in renewable energies, and support vulnerable communities. However, the success of this conference depends on post-meeting actions by individuals, businesses, and government institutions. We must be ready to hold our leaders accountable, continue advocating for change, and making sustainable choices. With you, we can collectively shape a better world where children and young people can have a safe space, a safe environment where they continue living. With this, I want to say thank you and bring you greetings from Sierra Leone.
Thank you so much, Michael. And now we'll go finally with Catarina, with my good friend from Brazil.
Olá a todos. Hello, everyone. I'm Catarina. I am 17 years old. I'm a climate activist and a professional surfer, and I come from Salvador, Bahia, from Brazil. My family has always taught me the importance of taking care of nature, and they always say that taking care of nature is taking care of ourselves. And they made sure that I developed a connection with nature, because I was educated by and through nature. The teachings that I received from my parents, especially from my father's side, that my grandfather comes from the south of my state, from the indigenous community Pataxó, where he always taught me to find my strength in nature. Though I do not speak in the name of the indigenous communities, I recognize that what my grandparents and my father has taught me follows me throughout my fight. And when I look at Brazil, and I look back at this year, we see that the climate consequences are getting worse and worse. And just listening to my fellows, we see that it's happening not only in Brazil, but in the world. This year in Brazil, we saw floods in the south, in Rio Grande do Sul, droughts in the Amazon, burning of the Pantanal, the destruction of the Cerrado, which became the most destroyed biome of Brazil, and also 40% of the Caatinga destroyed, which is the only exclusive Brazilian biome. In my state, there were 3 floods in less than a year, floods that happened in at least 10 years. We have droughts in rainy seasons, and this affects the small family agricultural practices that depend on the land. And because of this, the big agricultural and livestock industry buys the lands from the small agricultural families and practices, and they take advantage of this and contribute more to the climate crisis. In my city, the real estate industry destroys the rest of the Atlantic forest that's left, with only 7% of it left in the world. It's the second most threatened biome in the world. How can children exert their rights to a safe, healthy, and clean environment if they don't have the natural spaces to access, if they can't access it with security? When I look at my city and at my rivers and they are polluted, and if I go surf, when my government opens and throws sewage on the river, it goes to the ocean. I can't surf, I can't practice my sport because I'm gonna get sick. When I was 9 years old, I actually felt the oceans warming. As a surfer, I'm constantly on the ocean. I realized that what was happening when I was swimming in a place that I always did, the water was much hotter than normal. And then when I got close to a coral reef, it was full of white spots. That is coral bleaching, something that had never happened. I was 9, and I told the same story when I was 12 at the United Nations. I signed a petition called Children versus Climate Crisis Petition. It was the first time children took a denunciation worldwide through the UN mechanism. We denounced 5 countries, and because of this petition, the United Nations finally officially recognized that children's rights are affected due to lack of climate action. And that's why I want to say not only what I have done when I was 12, but look at this press conference. Children have things to say, and children know how to say it. We need the space. We need need a COP for children. Look at COP30. We need a COP for children right now. And I always say that when I get into the position of powers where the older generation is now, I won't have the same power to make effective actions. The effective actions have to be made now. And that's why we need children in this decision-making processes. We need to be in the center. Because if we are the future, then this future needs to have a voice to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katarina, and thank you to each of you who have transmit us and to this audience your energy, your passion, your commitment, and have given us hope, the most important thing and value we need right now. Hope to continue fighting and to continue speaking up for our rights, precisely. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, but my name is Francisco Vera. I'm from Colombia and Spain. And I also would like to close these interventions with a clear message that I think it has been already said. We need to put at the center of the climate action children. Right now, we were yesterday with other children talking about the current situation of the climate action, and we are simply in a corner. We are forgotten, basically, and our rights are simply being violated, but not just the right that, to education, to health, to the evident rights, let's say. The right to participate is Article 12 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. And I think the negotiators and the leaders of this world have forgotten those rights. The right to participate, the right to be taken into account, the right to have a dignified, clean, and sustainable environment and future. And that's cannot happen. We do not need just billions, we need trillions to combat the climate crisis. And we need to put at the center also of the finance children. Just the 2.4% of the multilateral financial funds are led to children, and this is simply a shameful number. And of course, there is money. The money is being led, for example, to the war, to bomb children. But meanwhile, the money that should be led to protect, to safeguard, and to guarantee the life of children is being used in other things. I think when we want, we can do it. And the message to the leaders is simply do it. It's not an option, it's your responsibility. It is not about if we want, if we are solidaries of if we are not. It is a human right to participate and to be taken into account. And finally, now I would like to open the floor to the audience. If well, we have no time, so we have to wrap it up. And finally, I just would like to thank you for your time, for your attention, and for being with us today. If you have any requests to ask to our colleagues, to my fellows, you can go through Helen. Here is Helen from UNICEF to ask them any question you have. And finally, the last message, let's create the first COP for children in the COP13 Belém do Pará. Aquí están los micrófonos.